right. We're here.
We're here.
We're here.
Another week.
Another week, another day, another bitch, another nigga.
Of course. Of course.
How are you this week?
I am actually pretty good. It's been a very interesting week, Sean. How are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get drunk every weekend. So.
Okay, so you need to give context to that.
Sundays are like my recovery days.
Yeah.
To get my life together.
Yeah,
hopefully.
rightfully so.
Yeah. I never get it together, but I mean.
That's real, because I still go into my Mondays feeling like I fell straight on my face.
Yeah. No, but I went, I didn't go anywhere. I mean, obviously, because I canceled my plans with you. I am so sorry.
Yo.
I needed last night.
And you know what? That is exactly why I was like, you know what?
I needed it.
Just, we'll make something work. We'll figure something out. And that saves me a trip to Marietta.
Look, I was like...
Okay.
Because I had some people over last night, but you know how, like, when you invite people over, but you have, like, plans on top of plans?
Yeah.
So, like, I had people who wanted to go out, but I had people who didn't want to go out. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I know when we leave, like, these people are going to want to leave or whatever, but I didn't want them to, like, waste their time.
Right.
And I have a very bad habit of not sitting the fuck down when I need to sit the fuck down.
Mm-hmm.
So...
you sat down.
I sat the fuck down. I sat my fat ass down.
Shut my fat ass up. If you get that reference, we fucks with you heavy, okay?
LOL. Yeah, but I needed that time. Just to be in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Volunteered earlier.
Volunteered?
Yeah.
Like community service volunteer work?
I mean, I helped with KSU moving.
Oh, nice. You're so sweet.
I try.
That's nice, because you the way housing, anyway.
Look, and they changed a lot of their processes for, like, moving. Like, they utilize, like, the parking decks for check-in.
Oh, interesting. So they have, like, booth set up and stuff like that?
So, like, opposed to, like, you know how moving be where, like, the central office, that's, like, your headquarters for all the RAs, housing officials, all that other stuff. And you got lines, then you got the moving bins and all that other shit. But, like, literally, I don't know who the fuck's bright idea it was, but I'm upset they didn't do it when I was there. Because, literally, you could walk through the aisles and, like, the bricks and stuff to get to the rooms, and, like, there was actual room for you to, like, move your shit into, and, like, it wasn't like a whole bunch of people in one area at one time. They utilized one of the bigger parking decks to, like, actually check in. So you had to make sure your card was activated, like your student ID card, and then you would go and check in with the housing person, and they would give you, like, your actual door key to, like, your room. And then once you did that, you would exit the parking deck, because you could exit. You enter it off campus, and then you exit it on campus, and that would take you to the parking deck that's closer to, like, the actual residential halls. Yeah. And that's where you would actually unload your stuff, but it was like desolate. I can never talk. Jesus Christ.
Desolate.
But you could actually park your car, and that was like your unloading section for like 40 plus minutes, and that's where you would check out your bins and stuff like that. So literally, the mess we've been doing for 10 plus years with housing and residence life at Kennesaw State University. Woo! Chile.
Well, I don't know how they're doing it at Southern.
They're probably still doing it the same.
Probably so. Lord knows, because we centralized ourselves at the RAC, and I'm not sure if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
y'all do check-in.
Yeah, so we do check-in at the Recreation Activity Center. I think that's what the RAC stands for. I don't know. I called it a RAC the whole time I was there.
SAC.
Period.
TAC. E.
But so we went to the RAC, and all the residence halls were there laid out, giving you your keys and everything. And from there, you just had to figure it out. Like, you had to figure out how to get to your hall. And, you know, as CLs at the time, now RAs, we did our best to try to give directions, but I am terrible at telling people how to get from point A to point B.
Jesus Christ.
Because I have the most unorthodox landmarks when it comes to things. Mm-hmm. Like, I would probably use your house as a reference for anything in Smyrna.
And people have no fucking clue.
And they're just like, Glen Park.
Where the fuck
where
is
the
that?
hell? And I'm like, okay, South Cobb. Okay, you kind of getting me somewhere now. But even then, like, Smyrna, like, and I don't know what it is about Georgia. This is a slight derailment, but I don't know what it is about Georgia and like its boundary lines. But Smyrna, much like a lot of cities in the metro area, like lines and like really long rectangles.
Yeah,
like their boundaries aren't really like confined to like a square or a circle. I don't know, gerrymandering at its finest, but. That's what's up. I'm glad you went and volunteered with them.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you guys know, but me and Carlton both have a background in housing and residence life.
Yes, we do.
Him more so housing, me so residence life. Yeah. But I'm not even going to go into what Kennesaw has been going through these past couple of years, but that's neither here nor there.
Southern was going through it too. And literally my senior year, I was like, I cannot, I will not, and I won't. So I still worked for housing. I was a CA, a community assistant, so I was at the desk.
Oh no, once I was done,
I needed a paycheck, and I needed to be somewhere where I was familiar.
That's why I had Greek life to support me.
And I wasn't that embedded in the other departments on campus, other than the Department of Communication Arts. But there weren't really many roles that I could get paid for. And so I just stuck with what I knew. And being a CA, if I needed anything, I just called up the CLs, to the resident directors, and I just sat there and I got my little $7.25 an hour.
Jesus Christ.
And was studying for class. It forced me to study. Yeah, it's about $7.25, $7.50.
Hurtful.
I
got at least $8.50.
Oh,
in,
no.
In Greek life. Because I was a student assistant there.
No, we were getting paid enough to for the standards.
Slave wage.
I mean, the standard of living in Statesboro is not the same as Metro Atlanta, so.
Oh, so $7.25. Okay.
$7.25 got me through. Like literally, I could last 2.5 weeks without filling up my tank. You can't do that in Metro Atlanta. I'm filling up my tank every 3 days.
Yeah.
And I work 15 minutes from my job.
Oh my God.
I could last, especially my PT Cruiser before it blew up.
Oh.
I could last, y'all. We should talk about car struggles. Sean.
That's another episode. That's a whole other episode.
I'm writing that down.
Oh my goodness.
But before my PT Cruiser,
blew up on what was it? 16?
It wasn't even 16. I mean, it acted up on 16. It blew up on some country ass highway in Statesboro. But anyhow. Before it blew up, I was able to go at least 3 weeks without filling up my tank. And Statesboro, you can get from point A to point B in like 5 minutes. Yeah.
During college. So much time has passed.
So much, because I have a whole new car.
Okay.
It's still used as fuck, but anyway.
Jesus Christ.
That's not what we're here to talk about today.
No, so, but how was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty dope. What did I do? Oh my goodness, this is always the case, and I get to the office every Monday. Everybody's like, "What you do this weekend?" I'm like, "Actually, I don't remember."
No, I can't recall.
I am here at work. I made it. Okay, so on Friday, it's coming back to me. On Friday, I left the office and I got in contact with my girl Ashley. I hadn't seen her in a second. She literally lives like up the street from me. So I called her. She didn't answer, and she called back immediately. And I went to pick her up from work. She works literally right next door to me. Picked her up from work because she was about to get a lift, and the timing was perfect. And so we went to her place and had some well-needed catching up. That was dope. And then I hung out with my friend Kaya and Gio on Friday night. Then Saturday, I went and played tennis. And tennis, yeah, okay, so historically, I've played tennis before. I played tennis all throughout high school, and I kind of stopped after my freshman year of college. I had a tennis class, and I was just kind of dabbling in it throughout my college career. But I now work full-time, and During the day, all I do is just sit down in front of my computer, and before I know it, 5 hours have passed, and I haven't even shuffled my buttocks in my seat.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I don't know how you can sit there so long.
I mean, I'm working on like 20 projects at a time, and so like I just get so invested.
I'd be like, fuck them projects.
And I get so invested in what I'm doing.
I have to get my black ass up.
Sometimes I forget, and I don't know if it's because like I'm trained to do that.
Do you work through your lunch sometimes by accident?
Hell yes.
Jesus Christ.
Like my intern has to say, Carlton, you haven't eaten. Or like I'll get up and I'm like a little lightheaded. Or like I'll be in the middle of a project. I'm like, I can't think. Jesus. And then I think to myself and I'm like, well.
And I just gotta say, I do not understand. Something's not right, really wrong.
I can't stand you. Status Quo, High School Musical 1, Sharpay, just all the snaps. Sharpay and Ryan did that.
Why are they looking at me? Me? You?
Because of the callbacks? I can't have that. No, I can't have that. No.
Okay.
But,
work.
Wow, yes, work. So I have to get up and like I realize that I haven't eaten or that I'm so frustrated and can't think because I haven't eaten. Most times I don't even eat breakfast. And so it's 3:00 in the afternoon and I haven't eaten anything probably since the day before at dinner. And so it makes sense as to why I'm hungry. Anyway, I worked through my lunch.
That's not good.
I worked through so much.
It's not okay.
And sometimes I'm good at bringing my lunch. Sometimes I'll get my butt up and I'll walk somewhere and get my lunch. Sometimes I'll Uber eat it. But, yeah. And so back to Saturday. Started going back and doing tennis again. Found out about this LGBT friendly tennis club. And you know I'm all about us. And so I showed up and had been trying to go for a couple of weeks, but finally made the time to go to their open courts. And so I showed up. Like I said, it's been a second since I played tennis. And the heat index yesterday was like 105 degrees.
It was hot as hell.
It was hot. And so, and the night before, when I was with Kai and Jill, we were drinking wine. And so, you know, I was kind of dehydrated, I suppose.
Dehydrated, Jesus.
And then my hair is like wool. And I did not realize that my hair was just so, oh my goodness. I was going to pass out. It was hot as hell. It was hot.
So you went like around midday?
Hell. Yes. Open court started at 1. I got there around like 1:45. It was at the peak of hell outside.
Yeah, that's when I took my black ass inside.
And so I'm out there, haven't played tennis in a while, haven't really moved around in a while, and hitting the ball back and forth. 10 minutes in. Woo! How long it's been? Lord Jesus. And so, you know, I'm over here trying to make a good first impression because these are people that could potentially be playing games with, and, you know, I could join a league and all that great stuff. And so trying to, you know, interact, be funny, show the people who I am, you know, make some new friends. Nice, really diverse group of people. Mm-hmm. Black guys, white guys, Asian guys, like, pretty cool.
That's dope.
And so I'm hitting. But literally, as time goes on, I get hotter and hotter.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure by like 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Oh, I was done.
Roasted peanuts.
I was done. And so it got to a point where they wanted to play a set. And a set in tennis is 8 games.
Oh, no. Jesus Christ. Longer than Monopoly.
I was so butthurt because I really wanted to play, like, on top of the fact that I wanted to play, I wanted to get a good workout in, all this great stuff. But I was so hot. And I was like, y'all, I need to take another break. And so I would leave the court. Shut up. My damn computer. So I would leave the court, go inside, sit inside for like 10 minutes and guzzling water. You know, got my shirt up, took my shoes off.
They are probably looking at you like, who is this?
Because I was stopping the game. Like, they just wanted to play tennis. And I was like, y'all,
so they were like in pretty good shape.
Yeah, and I felt like, Sean, tennis is a sport for everybody. Mm-hmm. You can be 5 years old. You can be 105 years old, hitting the ball back and forth. Like, it's one of those sports that grow with you. And so these are older men, and like, it's evident I'm the youngest person on the court. Mm-hmm. But when I tell you, I took as many breaks as it was embarrassing, honestly. And so finally got to the end of our 8 games. We did not win. I felt so bad. Jesus. Because if I wasn't so fucking hot, I'm sure I would have slayed some ass. Yeah. But I was hot, and I was ready to get the games over with. And by the time we were done playing...
You did end up staying.
Yes, we played 9 games, and I was over it.
Push through.
I had to, because I did not want to.
Come on.
I already felt so bad. I was like...
Serena?
I told not Serena at all.
Come on.
Girl, no.
Venus? Come on.
Girl, I was Noam. Not a William.
Come on.
I was a Noam for real, because it was a no. But it was nice, and I told them that I was gonna come back and I was gonna be bigger and better. I was gonna be more prepared, because it was just one of those impromptu things. I was going to not go.
But those are some of the best. Those are some of the best ways to like stay in shape, though. Staying in shape and enjoying your hobby, like just getting up.
Yes, because I hate working out, Sean.
Yeah,
hate it.
I think everybody does. Fuck all them gym freaks who live in the gym. I think they all hate it.
I can't persuade myself to do something I hate so much, because when I tell you,
go to work every day.
Okay, that's different. Wow. You're right.
Hit different.
It does. I mean, and that direct deposit hit different too. So I just gotta make it work. But yeah, I had to get my black ass up. I'm about to throw everything.
You have hoes.
No, this is Rockstar Productions telling me about
not Rockstar
Alibi.
Productions.
Yeah, all the little gay moves.
Oh, okay. That sounds like the the horny goat weed pills that be in the gas station.
What is that? Are they
to get you
for erections?
Rock hard with Rockstar.
They sell those at the gas station?
They do.
I don't think
you could pick you up a Four Loko and a Rockstar horny goat weed pill.
You know you can have a heart attack by because all the blood, literally so much blood goes to your penis when you're hard.
Yeah, your penis can burst too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Like the veins in that bitch that be popping out and knocking niggas in the face. Like that, them things can erupt.
Jesus Christ.
But
that's good though. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, so we'll see. Anyway,
that sounds like me in Atlanta Freedom Band.
Okay.
Remember when I did that?
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Well, I'll talk about this when it happens. So I'll just know that I'm trying to get more involved with the gays.
Yeah.
And put myself in places where I can not only be free and have fun and have a hobby or something, but potentially find me a husband, because I'm on the market, point blank in the period. I'm going to put myself in places where I can find some quality men, whatever that means. And so after that, and I've been talking forever, oh my God. After that, I was tired of shit. Didn't want to do nothing for the rest of the day, but I managed to do stuff. And I was productive. I worked on different projects. I worked on our podcast.
Yeah.
And then later on, I met up with Aaron, and we went out and we went to a gay spot. We met up with JT and a few of his girlfriends, and we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves, and now I'm here.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a very interesting weekend. I think maybe the fact that I know my weekends be so jam-packed is probably a coping mechanism, or a way for me to just block off conversation and have that divide between what I did during the weekend and what I'm currently doing at work.
Yeah.
Because
you need that disconnect.
Yeah. And so when I walk into the office, I'm not thinking about how I spent my weekend. Mm-hmm. But Yeah.
That's good.
That was that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well,
since we were talking about housing at your university that you just left.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Transition.
Right.
Transition. So, good people.
Good people.
Good followers of today. One of the heavy things that I've been dealing with recently, and I promise y'all it's gonna come full circle like it does every episode. But Carlton, you already know a little bit, but what was going on with my current job situation and me working temp. So good people. If you guys know, you may or may not know, depending on who you are. I currently work as a temp student life advisor at Georgia State University. So it's not important about what I do, but it's more so the circumstances that I've been placed in. But I've been working there for about 8.5 months now, and basically pretty much from the time that I've graduated college. I started in January, literally a month and a half after I graduated, and I was brought on as a temp. I'm qualified for the position, but I'm not quote unquote qualified for the position. That's why they put me in temp. I don't have my master's in higher education or going for a master's. So literally I am just stuck in a rock and a hard place, not only with just this position, but applying for different positions in higher education, because that's what I want to do. Granted, I graduated school with a music and dance degree, but through all my involvement in housing and residence life. Ooh, come on, Connect.
Okay.
Housing and residence life and Greek life and all the other departments I was involved in. I have a passion for student affairs.
Yep.
So with that, I've just been going about looking for different positions. But bring it back to my current circumstance. The thing is about temps, and I just found this out, Carlton. Well, I had an idea maybe a little bit earlier this summer, but temps at Georgia State are only allotted 1,300 hours at university. And if you're not in, they have an in-house temp agency where you're hired on as a Panther temp, quote unquote, and every 6 months they'll switch you out to different positions, but ultimately they try to get you to fill into a position that's actually at a university, so they're not just temping you the whole time. But basically it's an in-house temp agency. I'm not a part of the temp agency. I'm just a regular temp that was brought on. And the thing is with those, once you reach your 1,300 hour cap, once you reach your cap, you basically have to take a 6-month sabbatical from the university. So guess what?
What? What's T?
We're right at about
6 months.
about 1060 for my 1,300 hours. So with that, they've cut my hours at work because, and Carlton, you already know all this, but just bringing the people up to speed. We have a lot of stuff going on for the semester, and I'm the only one in my position facilitating programming for basically the whole office and for the 2 student organizations underneath us. And it just so happens that I'm the only other full-time professional staff member in the office. And then our student organizations, which are also extensions of the university via employees because they're hired on through HR and all that other stuff, and they're paid. Those positions aren't filled either. So literally, I am carrying the weight of not only my position as far as programming and administrative work, but I'm carrying the weight of... Don't shake your head.
I mean, it's a mess.
I am carrying the weight of essentially 3 different organizations. And then I just assist wherever, because I also have, with me working on the Dunwoody campus, I'm responsible for facilitating university-wide stuff and college-wide stuff. Right. So collaborations with the other perimeter campuses, and then also just university-wide collaboration. So all in all, it's a lot. But all in all, with my hours being cut, and I don't fault anybody. Like, I understand its rules and regulations, all that other stuff, but it just really sucks to have been in a position for 8+ months or whatever.
Yeah.
Gain the experience, and then freaking now you're telling me I can't work at university for 6 months. Like, blowing my fucking mind. Like, that shit is just crazy. So, bringing it, basically, I'm at a point now where I'm not jobless, but it may get to the point of where I may not have a job in a couple of months, and I'm working, I'm putting in work to make sure things happen or whatever, but just bringing up the topic for today, it's just so hard transitioning out of undergrad and into what it is adulthood. Like, I thought I had a strong sense of adulthood when I was freaking in college and just dealing with all kind of shit. Because everybody know I've been through shit from the time that I probably came out of. I was born by the river.
That song is so
in a little tit
deep, so heavy.
But literally, just been going through so much for so long, and I thought I was forced to grow up in a lot of situations.
Been running ever since.
I've been running ever since that. But I thought I had a strong sense of like what adulthood was, or at least being a young adult and some of the things that it comes with, because I just had to deal with a lot of shit at a young age. But literally, once I crossed that fucking stage,
woo,
and yeah, amen, we made it, amen. But literally, the when January 1st hit, and my rent was due, I was like, what is this? What is this? This is ghetto.
It keeps going.
This is so ghetto. Me having to pay rent without my student loans? Ghetto. Oh my
the real
goodness.
World, shawty.
Oh my goodness.
The real world.
But it's honestly a struggle out here, and like a lot of people when they graduate, they do say this shit hard, this shit crazy. And I think people truly don't realize that until they cross the stage. And I feel like it hits people at different points. Like, it definitely hit me when I was in like my month and a half sabbatical between me working at the job that I have now and crossing the stage. But like, literally, I think it takes you like a solid 1.5, 2 years. Sometimes people don't even get it together after they walk across the stage. Right. But literally, it takes you time to like get a strong footing for yourself. And me just dealing with this current job situation is just like, damn, like, I'm still having to figure things out to make sure I'm successful and that I have everything that I need. So like, I felt like the good people needed to just, I don't know, hear some different experiences, hear
the good people.
Yeah,
he's referring to y'all.
The good people. I'm telling you, the good people with good pussies and good penises.
Oh, and God, see, you can always rely on Sean to just throw the ball into the left court, just plummet it.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, so like, my question for you, what are some things you experienced after walking across the stage? Because I graduated fall, but I know you graduated in May, a couple of months before. Wait, no, hold on.
It was spring, yeah. It was in May. You graduated in December.
Okay, why did I feel like a whole year passed by between?
Because subconsciously, I mean,
it was a year.
The things that unpacked were a year's worth of shit.
Yeah. But what are some things that you experienced after post-graduation? You know, job hunting, finding housing, paying bills. Just, I know. Hurt.
So, okay. So, wow. That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
You already know what's about to happen. And so you were stupid. And so in college, we took this thing called Strength Finders. Mm-hmm. And I found out that one of my strengths, and basically the way this assessment works is that it gives you your strengths. It gives you 5 strengths or talents. Mm-hmm. And they're not necessarily things that are true to your now, mm-hmm. but basically you're supposed to like develop on those strengths. You're supposed to develop on those talents and like practice these things to become better at them. And so one of my talents was to be strategic. And for me, that one stuck out the most for me because I know myself to be a very strategic person, mm-hmm. very like streamlined and just organized in a way that I go about my processes and the way that I take certain steps. And so when it came to graduating college, I had every intent to fall straight into a job and to move out of my mama's house and not even go home. I didn't even want to go the fuck home. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to move out and just be on my own, kind of like continue that same vibe that I had in college.
Yeah, because you become very independent.
Exactly. And so my way of getting prepared for this was applying for internships. So I went to school for public relations, and with public relations, the field is just so broad. You kind of have to, well, you don't have to narrow yourself, because I definitely don't narrow myself when it comes to my craft and what I'm able to do, because mm-hmm. I dabble in a little bit of everything. But for the sake of internships, and honing in on that, you kind of have to find where you want to explore it. I mean, internships are for you, like, dabbling and trying to figure out where you want your career to go and everything. Mm-hmm. And so, during this time, I decided to, like I said, explore and try to figure out where I was going to be post-graduation. So I had 5 internships. One was with a radio station. An online radio station. That was my first internship. I was their social media coordinator type situation. And I was also a co-radio host. Okay. So that was really fun.
Was that the one I called into one time?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the exact one. WCG Talk Radio. They're still up and out, doing great things. What else? I was the PR assistant for a PR agency. I worked at school as a PR creative services intern with the Betty Ford Sanders Department of Art. I was a corporate volunteer / intern for the organization that I currently work for, which I'm not letting y'all know because it's none of y'all's business. And I also worked at the at Disney World mm-hmm. as a Disney College Program intern. Ooh. And so all these different internships kind of gave me a really different experience. And ultimately, when I had my internship at Disney, I was like, I'm about to build a career at Disney, right? And so everybody and their mama, well, I'm not going to say everybody and their mama, but some people and their mamas be going to Disney and starting their career as college program interns. Right. And going from being a college program intern to being a professional intern, and the professional intern leading to a career of some sort. And so these are all different internship programs that get you embedded in very much so like undergrad and graduate. Mm-hmm. You begin to narrow down your studies and really focus in on how you can benefit the company. Mm-hmm. And so I had this huge idea, and everything took a left turn when my internship was not the internship that I thought it was going to be. And so I ended up leaving that early because of some crazy ass circumstances that I don't even think we have the bandwidth to cover today. But some crazy ass circumstances that really changed the way I saw the company. And so I came home and kind of had this like identity crisis and this professional crisis, and I was like, what the hell am I about to do with my life? I'm about to be a senior in college. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But I took that energy and I converted it toward like motivation. Mm-hmm. And so turned out that I needed an internship credit to graduate. It was either internship or I had to take the seminar class, but the seminar class was very like lukewarm. I think I ended up taking the class anyway. No, I took practicum. Anyway, I ended up getting an internship on campus with our art department, and it was life changing. Like, my internship supervisor was amazing. I was her first intern. She had went through the same department I went. She was a Georgia Southern alum. She went to the Department of Georgia of Communication Arts, and so we had that relationship. On top of the fact that she was like relatively young, and I was able, like, she really wanted me to get the most out of my internship experience. And so I would go into her office, and before I started any work, she and I would just sit down and kiki and talk and laugh and like basically catch each other up on like the projects that I'm working on in school and what she's currently working on, and kind of like finding ways to give each other encouragement through it all, because it's very funny because I literally am acting in the role that she's acting in.
Oh, really?
At Southern, at where I'm currently working. And so if it wasn't for that internship, I probably wouldn't have the versatility to do what I currently do. And so little did I know that through my raggedy ass experience at Disney that I was going to come back and have some takeaways.
Jesus.
And come back to literally the place that I left to find that drive and that motivation, which led me into pushing for the career that I currently, or the job that I currently have at the place that I'm working at. And so, like, after that internship, ended up getting an internship at the place that I currently work at, getting an informational interview with one of the senior leadership execs, and now a year and
some change.
2 months later,
some change.
I am in this job, and I went from being temp for 4 months, being full-time temp.
Yes.
I mean, it's literally temporary. Like, and it's a temporary contract, temporary comfort, temporary security. Like, it's terrible. And so, like, every time Sean talks about his temp status, I'm like, I get it.
Rolls eyes.
I get it, because being temp is so uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable.
And especially as a fresh college graduate, because like my situation was just very unique, and I feel like it all goes back to that root word of me being strategic. Me kind of knowing that I need to be in this position, and I was blessed through that because I was able to lay those things out, and I had the mentality, I had the talent, more so the mentality to execute it the way that I did. And I'm blessed, and literally my steps were ordered by Lord Almighty, because Lord knows that I don't know how the hell I did it, but I did it. And so it's been taking those different opportunities and making the best out of it. But being temp is so fucking uncomfortable.
No,
I don't wish it on anybody.
That's real. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that I didn't do things that I needed to do in college, because I feel like I came out of college very like successfully. And I gained a lot of experience, and the experience that I had in undergrad led me to the position that I'm in right now, because literally my how I got to where I am now is very unorthodox as well, because literally my mom walked into what is now my supervisor's office and was like, "Hey, my son wants to do student affairs, and he's done this, this, and this." And literally my supervisor was telling me about the story, like talking about, yeah, you know, we was cracking jokes on you at first, like your mama walked in here. But literally it was a matter of like, and she was in a weird position too. With the office, she was like, "You know what? I've never done anything like this before. I'm literally gonna do something different." So literally, literally, my mom told me to call my supervisor in like the next 30 minutes, talk to my supervisor, and basically it was like a phone interview. And then I went and did a quote unquote on campus interview, but really it was just a matter of her like showing some of the different things.
Showing you the ropes?
Yeah, showing me the ropes and like what I would actually be doing. And then literally she like, "So do you want to work here?" And yeah. And now I'm here. Yeah. And I'm 8 months in. And if anything, what I wish I would have did, because I knew I wanted to do higher education and student affairs going. I knew for a little bit. Especially working in housing and residence life, like really like my last semester of housing and residence life, I was like, I vibe with this. Like, I love student development. I love what Greek life does for students. I love what student activities does for students. I love what, granted, housing and residence life has its things that they need to work on every university, and working on what the work-life balance looks like for professional staff members. But literally, I love the environment that is created through on-campus housing at universities. Yep. Like, it creates an environment for you to be successful.
Oh, hell yeah.
Literally stayed on campus all 4 years except my last semester, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Would walk around in the fucking residential halls with my underwear to go get ice, or walk down and go get a snack. Like, literally.
You know what? I feel that.
Yeah.
There's a sense of, like, I'm not going to say power, but, like, a comfortability that comes with the fact that you are housing.
Right.
You know? Because it's like, bitch, this is my house for the past 3 years. You just got here. You
all
kiss my
right,
ass.
don't fuck with me.
I'm going to walk around with my drawers
I'm gonna do
and
it.
with my tights and with my do-rag on and my bonnet. And you going to take me as I am. And you fuck around and you going to catch you a charge.
Right. Like, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. Especially when you're a RA or a CEO or whatever the hell they title.
One of my former professors just messaged me on LinkedIn.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah, congratulations
on your new position.
Well, this is a follow-up from that.
Oh. See,
love.
Speak it up.
Hashtag Statesboro. Hashtag True Blue. Department of Commerce.
State not Southern.
Period. Don't tip on.
You didn't hear me.
Huh?
You did not.
Oh wait, whoa. You know what? You got me. Look, my bias came in because I was like, Sean is on my side, but I forgot that he works for the other. I forgot just that quick.
The other GSU.
It's Southern, not State. State, not Southern sounds disgusting.
We call y'all Southern and we call ourselves GSU.
And we call y'all State and we call us Southern. I mean, Southern is a thing across the board. Y'all just don't have y'all facts straight.
Well, I can't talk negatively about my institution, so we're going to stop this right here.
You know what? Your institution is Kennesaw State University. I don't give a fuck about where you're currently employed.
Jesus Christ.
I don't give a shit.
But freaking,
I can't believe. What is this? What is going on behind me?
Oh my goodness. Y'all, my roommates have been out here just Jesus Christ.
Yo.
What was that? I have no clue.
What was in my bag, bro?
That little ass double bag.
So my roommate proceeds to he stepped in a duffel bag and he said, I am in my bag. Now I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with pop culture.
Oh, you just got it.
Urban Dictionary. Anything that you want to reference when it comes to things that are currently going on in your bag means a number of things. Personally, for me, it means fucking people, but it could be a matter of
really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think of in your bag as like an advancement of your professional career.
Yeah.
Leveling up professionally.
So it can mean a number of things, but essentially you're doing well. So
of course, Sean brings it back to sex.
Yeah. Complete derailment.
Complete derailment.
But going back to your experiences and just some of the, bless you.
Ooh, Lord.
A lot of the internship things that you did, coming out and being strategic. And I feel like I'm very strategic, but I think I'm strategic for I incorporate a lot of things when it comes to making decisions for myself. And it's not just based on me. It's based on other people.
Yeah.
And I feel like I did a lot of things that it was good decisions for myself, and I didn't end up going wrong because of it, but it definitely benefited a lot of other people, because even looking at, all right, I literally was an RA up to the summer that right before I graduated, before that fall semester.
Yeah.
I was president that last semester, held my presidency for 2.5 years, working Greek life, all that other stuff. But with me, I wish I would have had the mentality of, and people tell you it all the time, but it doesn't really like manifest to like, oh shit, I don't have a job. But literally putting yourself in situations in preparation for that, because I was definitely focused on a lot of the things I was doing in my undergrad, being president, working at the rec center. And those experiences were beneficial in my resume and when I came to talking about jobs. But literally, if I knew I was going to be doing higher education, like, I should have really been looking into things that catered towards that, like, specifically when it came to that field. And what's funny about it, I think God was talking to me, like, God always talking to me, but when it came to like my last year, literally the group of, like, I had so many quote unquote mentors my last semester. In my last year, like, all of the RDs loved me, ACs, like, all of the people in student life knew me, people in sports and rec, the whole Greek life office, and like literally people like, oh, if you need to sit down and talk higher ed, let's do it. When you're taking your GRE, have you started applying to jobs? You need to be applying to jobs now. Literally, that was like flooded to me in like my past year, and I was like, I'm still filling it out. I don't know. I may want to do something freelance with my music and my dance. Like, I don't really want to limit myself right now, but I always knew that I wanted, because music and dance, like, that's sort of a hit or miss sometimes, especially when you're doing freelance work. But I always knew that I was going to utilize higher education and working professionally in that to pay my bills and to jumpstart some of the things that I wanted to do as far as music and dance. But literally, I wish, like, the director of fraternity and sorority life, I think when I first got hired on as a student assistant in the office, literally she was like, well, we can turn this position into like an internship, like, outside of you doing your student assistant work. These would be non-paid hours, of course, but they would not pay me. No shade towards y'all, love y'all. But we can go into like some of the behind the scenes things when it comes to working in student affairs, working in fraternity and sorority life, a lot of those professional things that they do on a day-to-day basis. Like, that was an opportunity for me, but I was like, no, I'm good.
I'm not really sure if this is something I want to.
But just hearing your experience and you interning, and granted, it took you having a traumatic experience with Disney to sort of push you into that, but I wish I would have had something a little similar to that in my last semester, like my last year. Because I feel like that definitely would have geared me up for some of the things that I'm going through right now, and just learning how to talk about my skill set and applying for jobs and stuff. Like, I feel like you got a lot of that in your internship, because you were helping her run the art center down there,
right?
It was the Arts Museum, or like the.
It was the art department, which is set up very similarly. Like,
okay.
Literally, because her office was in the Center for Art and Theater, the CAT.
Okay.
And that's where we ate acronyms for breakfast at Southern. But literally, the Black Box Theater was in there. And they had different exhibitions coming through for like art, and so it was like a hybrid museum, theater place,
exhibition space.
Yeah, and just loved it.
Yeah,
loved it. But yeah, I mean, it really just goes back to that word strategy. I'm a very strategic person, and I went about my whole college career that same way. Because had I not gone to Disney, I would have graduated a semester early, because I was just. Like, Disney was a semester-long internship but I still graduated within my 4 years. And it was because I was trying to get the hell out because college is expensive, but at the same time I wasn't trying to rush it. And so when I saw this opportunity for me to potentially not have to spread my classes out so I could get my 4 years and not graduate in 3.5 years, even though that was probably going to still end up being the case. But like for me to grow professionally, I was like, I got to do it.
Right.
Or I want to do it rather. And I think the biggest thing for me is because like through so many of my journeys, I've been told that I can't do it that way. Or that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Or you're not going to be successful if you do like this, you need to do like this. And so me being me and me being in tune with the good old Lord. I don't know why I'm just over here like Jesus this, Jesus that, but I'm telling you, it was my spirit was telling me and has always told me and led me toward where I need to be. And so all these people both strangers and loved ones alike have told me all these different things, and I'm like, well, that's not how I see it. And so I was able to set myself up like that, and I mean, it's just very interesting because I know like you and I would have conversations in school about like what we want to do and how we want to do it, and I kind of was just like experimenting with stuff. But on top of that, in school, we were taught like as PR practitioners to explore, because like literally we're being taught how to write, we're being taught how to do graphic design work, we're being taught how to build media relations and business to business relations, and to do marketing, and to do like focus groups and whole PR campaigns, which encompass so many different things. You have to know a little about a lot, or in most cases, a lot of really good PR practitioners know a lot about a lot, because you have to be able to be that streamline or that person that's able to keep everything back on, if we're speaking public relations in general, like your clients' goals. And so, like, you have to know, you have to be well versed, and it takes a certain type of person to be in that. And so, public relations is literally the strategic communication process between a client and the public, or the publics, that they're targeted publics. And so for strategic to come up in my Strength Finders quiz that I took as a result of me being involved with housing, it was like all these different things were just making so much sense. And I was able to take those experiences and apply it towards something else and like mix it with my passions, which is what I really love public relations, because you're able to, public relations fits any field, whether it be technology, music industry, healthcare, construction. Like public relations will find its way. And it's funny because a lot of organizations don't prioritize it. And so in my curriculum, we were actually taught that not only you should have experiences, that all these different type of experiences for your own sake, but being able to vouch for yourself and your validity as someone who practices working communications. And so all those different things all those different things together just made it easy for me to kind of wrap my head around it. Because like even I feel like Southern just as a whole did a really good job at preparing us. And my grandfather always makes this thing, like he was like, when I first looked up Southern, when you were saying you were going, they had this statement on their website that was like, we're building steps toward your career, or something like that, something along those lines. And I can go on my LinkedIn right now or on my Instagram and look at people who graduated from Southern. All of us are doing something, like whether it be in our field, or we're working, or like we're in school again, like whatever the case is, becoming double eagles, which is when you go to undergrad and grad school at Southern. Like it literally prepared me, and my program specifically prepared me for being able to jump out here and adapt. And so on top of that, I mean, it's just, I was blessed. And I mean, honestly, they're so busy focusing in on being able to secure those relationships that I don't think college does a really good job at preparing you for what it's like to have to facilitate those relationships along with being an adult.
And I think I think that's what I struggled with.
Yeah.
My first couple of interviews, my first couple of months just out of school, like I had the knowledge, I had the personality, just everything associated with being a professional, not only just higher education professional, but like dance, music, all of that stuff, like just making the connection. But I think that's always been my struggle, because even when I was applying for different positions like RA, interviewing for Sigma and different things like that, I was never able to truly connect my experiences. I had them, and I had good things to say, but I was never able to bring things full circle.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really wish that a lot of just the people I around, and granted, I may have been stubborn when it came to some of it, just not listening and just going about my own thing. Mm-hmm. But I definitely wish college prepared me a little bit more for making the connections, because it's not just about the education. It's not just about your involvement. It's not even just about adulting. It's literally a combination of everything. Mm-hmm. And college grows you, but I think it also hinders you in a sense. It's still a controlled environment. Like, the minute you're outside of like the realms of like all of the systems, when it comes to college, literally any fucking thing can happen.
Yep.
And I think my job has taught me that, like, being how I became like the only professional staff member on campus, like doing all of these different programming things, and like having to figure out my bills with like my different bills with like my hours getting cut and different things like that. I'm like, well, I gotta, literally, I'm the only person in the way, or the only person responsible for making things happen. So I have to figure it out. And it even, just my thought process has changed completely from the time I walked across the stage to now. I even saw it when I was like doing my resume, and like me literally having to find a job. I was like reading through job descriptions. I was like, I actually did do that. Man, I seem like it, but I surely fucking did.
I mean, these departments on campus, and it's just a lot of it is self-reflection. Like, right. And I can definitely say it's very interesting, because I almost feel bad saying that college didn't prepare me for the real world, because I feel like in some ways they did.
It did, right? Because
like the conversations that I had with professionals in housing, the conversations that I had with my residents, and having to talk to them and bring things full circle for like what I was currently going through. Especially when we're having those peer mediation talks, and we had to go in, like, I don't know how many of y'all have been RAs, but you have to go in, some based off where you are. It was intentional interactions, which I used to hate, especially if I felt they were, like, I hated the fact that they had prompts. Like, I feel like we should have just been able to talk about whatever we wanted to talk about to our damn residents, instead of having to be in these fucking zones that they could analyze and report to nationals. But, having those conversations with your residents, you kind of have that personality. Like, you have to meet them somewhere, which helps you govern, like, or facilitate conversations once you get into the real world. Right. Because you're dealing with people who could give a rat's ass about what you're dealing with. Right. Right. And so you kind of have to, like, be strong within yourself and figure that out for yourself. So there's a lot of, at least my experience, it motivated a lot of self-reflection, which I feel was extremely beneficial for my development now. But it is that transition it slaps you in the face. It does, because you go from high school, which is a system in itself, and then you're growing and evolving in high school, but you get to college and you realize how much you have grown and evolved, and then you continue to do it throughout those 4 years, and you continue to do it throughout those 4 years, and then it's over, and then you go back, in some cases, back to your mama's house, like I did. And you're like, I can't do this. Right. I'm a completely different person. I'm of age. I
can drink.
I can, like, be out and about. I have a car. I have grown ass friends
who be wanting to do
grown ass shit. I want to vacation. I want to, if I have a bae, I want to be able to bring him over and not worry about
your mom hearing you fuck,
you know, or getting permission to, or like sharing, like I'm adjacent to my brother's room who's still in high school and hasn't gone through all that stuff. Like this stuff is like a no.
Yeah.
And so having to get used to that transition, having to build your funds up if you weren't saving in college, which I was doing a lot of in college, but I was scared to like get into this real world struggle. But I finally did it in April, and I'm so happy I did.
Come on, house.
Never going back to my mama's house.
Come on, apartment.
Love my mama to pieces, love my family to pieces, but no. And so being able to get up on your feet, develop that confidence, develop that mentality to survive, and not be afraid to do it, and you know, it was once you figure that shit out and get your head around it, it's much easier.
Right. It's really just, because it's not even just one aspect of, like, whether it's your job, whether it's figuring out how you're going to pay bills, whether it's whether you're going to stay at home. Mm-hmm. Like, it's really just having that aggression and being able to tack it on and being able to work through different things and think through it. Like, that's probably applicable to, like, everything.
Yeah.
Because what's also crazy, I think you hit on it a little bit earlier, but on the flip side of me wishing that I did a little bit more in my undergrad to cater towards what I'm doing now, like I also realized that I had to, like, I just have to live through my journey. And because, ironically, at the same time that, you know, my supervisor was like, oh, we need to cut your hours just to hold you longer and, like, not only give me time to, like, you know, figure things out and what I'm going to do for my office, but to give you time to, like, apply for jobs, all that other stuff. Yeah. So you're not just so heavy in the office all the time and you don't have an opportunity to thrive. But, literally at the same time, like, that's when I auditioned for a dance company and actually got in.
I was actually going to ask you about that. How do you intertwine everything and, like, grow and deal with everything?
So literally at the same time, like, I got him into a dance company, and literally there's a couple of things I picked up from it. One, I feel like God is working because literally I'm getting compensated and I'm actually getting paid. I just signed my contract the other day. So I'm like, okay, well, I see where you're going with this, God. Okay, you're making more time for what I'm actually supposed to be doing. And I questioned myself for a very long time with, like, why am I just in this temp status? Why am I not getting interviews? Why am I not getting offered jobs and things like that? I'm like, literally, like, okay, this is a testament to, like, something else is in the work. So, got offered position as a company member, and everybody wasn't offered that opportunity. Like, some people are apprentices and they aren't offered anything. But literally, I get compensation. Like, all of my trips are taken care of besides my food. I get paid for each show that I'm in. And, like, for that to be... And it makes sense that I'm in a position like that because I did the work.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, it's like, damn, like, I'm only 6 months out of school. Like, or... No, it's past 6 months because they show asking me for these fucking student loans.
Oh yeah, girl. That's woo.
That's the show with it.
That is a thing there, but I figured that shit out too because I was not playing with the government. Hell no.
But literally, I began rehearsals for that, and I'm like, damn, like, this is crazy, like. This is my journey. I'm sitting here being so damn hard on myself. Like, oh, you don't have a quote unquote permanent job and da 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 da. And like, no, Sean, you're actually doing better than a lot of people are because a lot of people aren't doing shit. Yeah. A lot of people are wasting their degrees, wasting their experiences that they had in undergrad. And literally, like, you're doing everything. Because also on top of that, literally that same week I started my dance company rehearsals, I got contracted to teach beginner French horn players for a middle school. So literally all of this shit was just coming down at like one time, and I'm like, okay, so God is working.
Yeah.
I can't, even listening to like what you went through in your experiences with, you know, finding your permanent position now, like literally I cannot put that over my experience, because I'm sitting here feeling bad that I wasn't doing certain things in college. No, Sean, you did what you needed to do in college.
Yes, you did.
And literally you're doing what you need to do now. Yep. Because I'm having to look at, you know, the half full, half empty. Like, I'm literally having to change my perception, because it's like, all right, Sean, like, you've gained this much experience in the past 8 months. You're literally an asset. Like, you can go anywhere and not demand less than what you're getting now. Mm-hmm. You've grown in the past couple of months. Not only that, but you're literally doing things that your degree trained you to do.
Hell yeah.
And using that, and it's coming full circle now, and literally everything is just coming within to itself, because even a lot of people, just like you, and people question you, like, why did you do this? Like, people question me when it came to why I chose music. Like, what are you going to be doing in that? Like,
idiots.
Fucking fools. Literally everything you listen to is music, your phones, all that shit. People get paid for that shit. But that's neither here nor there.
Hell yeah.
But
music.
Stuck to music, picked up dance. You are a fool.
I know you're trying to concentrate, and I'm over here just being a dick.
But picked up music, later picked up dance, and then I started doing like all of like my involvement things with being Greek and working in housing residence life, and people were like, why are you doing like that? Like, that takes so much time away from like your music, and like you're really talented. Like, you should be should be spending more time towards this and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool, but I stuck through with it. And like now, even with people sort of like tempting me not to go into higher education for my master's and like working in the field, like literally it has geared me up for everything that I'm about to do, because I am in the process of like about to launch my nonprofit for supporting minority populations in the terms of classical dance and music education. So literally everything that I've learned as far as like budgeting, structure, like everything that I've learned thus far is preparing me for that. And just like you, in my decisions, like my decisions were also very strategic, but I felt like I followed my gut on a lot of the things. Like, I made sense of things, but I also followed my gut. And I consider my gut God talking to me. So a lot of the things that I've went about acquiring and doing, like, I've just followed my gut. And it's worked out. Like, yeah, I don't have a full-time job right now, but I'm still paying my bills. Like, I'm still getting opportunities. So it's just, it's so crazy how my life has just changed since I crossed that stage. Like, it's insane. And I think I've just had to go about not being so hard on myself. And understanding that it is my journey. Everybody has a journey, and I literally try to tell everybody around me, stop focusing on what everybody else is doing, because that's not your path.
Right. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What has been your biggest challenge with this transition, and what has been like an enlightening moment for you? And I mean, when I say the transition, I'm meaning like literally from you being in school and having the security of school to you being in the real world and having to figure it out, having to figure, like, you don't have the extracurriculars and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have the community that you had at Kennesaw.
Mm-hmm.
What has been something that has been a challenge and something that has been enlightening through all that?
This may be a little lukewarm.
Okay.
But personally for me, it's honestly staying motivated. That has been the most challenging thing.
That's huge. That's not lukewarm at all. That's valid as fuck.
Because I've literally, I think right before I got brought on as a temp at my current job, like the depression that I felt from my undergrad years, like that was catching up with me. And I was like, I've worked so hard for all these years and I can't find a damn job.
Right.
So like that was unmotivation right there, or me not being as motivated as I could be.
Yeah.
Got a job, lifted back up for a little bit. All right, in this temp status, I'm like, it's still an opportunity. I'm gaining experience. Reached another point of, damn, I'm getting offered interviews.
Them dams come out. Shit.
Like, damn, I'm not getting interviews. Like, this experience that I'm going through is pointless because I'm not even able to get jobs.
Yep.
Get back up when it came to like, you know, I started working with my students. You know, I really started doing well at my job, really helping out my supervisor, planning out retreats and like all of these different things. And literally, I'm like, I guess you can say that's where I am now, where I just reached a point of I've done so much and I still don't have a permanent job. And honestly, that stuff is really unmotivating. I lost my train of thought.
You were talking about being unmotivated, or you were talking about being motivated, or how being motivated was a struggle.
Oh yeah, okay.
Was a challenge.
But yeah, literally, I reached that point like a week and a half ago or last week where I was unmotivated by the situation. I'm just like, this makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Like I bust my ass every day, every single thing that I do. Like I aim to be a good person, all this other shit. But I was like, I can't. Like, why can't I get in a place that's stationary? Why can't I get in a place that's secure? But through all of that, there have been points where, all right, this is what I need to be doing. This is where I need to be. Because literally, my first rehearsal for my dance company, I was like, oh, wow. Like, me preparing myself to have a career to support myself in dance, like, the feeling and affirmation and just fulfillment in myself when I was dancing in my company, I was like, all right, this is why I do everything I do, and there's no reason for me to be unmotivated. I can never fucking talk in these motherfucking things.
Unmotivated.
But literally, like, the rewards that I get at the end of the day when it comes to, you know, whether it's teaching kids how to play instruments, dancing with my company, training my student leaders at my job, literally the fulfillment that I have.
Yeah.
Because I really be walking around not feeling like I'm good enough for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I ignore the fact that it is my journey.
Mm-hmm.
But during those periods, like, I just feel okay. Like, I feel like I'm actually good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, those are some, I can't even explain those experiences. It's just the inner feeling that I have that I'm like, all right, I'm doing this the right way.
So that's where you feel. So you feel that your challenge has been a lack of motivation, but so what's been that moment of enlightenment? Has it been your dance company?
It's just, I guess, just seeing me do well in my craft.
Yeah.
And actually engaging like the things that I'm good at is like, this is good. Cause like, even when it came to like my position, working as a student affairs professional, like when I was sitting there and talking with my supervisor about programming and like just going through all these different ideas, I was like, oh shit, like I'm doing this thing. Like, it's crazy. Like, those have been my moments. What is something for you? Challenges?
So
I know that's heavy because I talked for a full 30 minutes probably.
And I don't think it's that long.
But
my biggest challenge has been probably not being so hard on myself.
Okay.
I realize that I do really good work considering a lot of my circumstances, a lot of the resources, the lack of resources that I have, and the situations that I've been put in. But because I always have this, like, you're not good enough, you're doing it wrong, like, it's always this, I'm always battling this, the naysayers. And the fact that, you know, I do have people who are just, who I literally have to block out all the time because the things that they said were so traumatizing and have been embedded into, like, me, the way that I think about stuff. And so it's been very important, very hard actually for me to not be so hard on myself. And so the biggest thing for me, and it's also like just me self-care, it's just to kind of remove myself from something. And once I complete it or once I'm doing it, like I'm huge on like positive affirmations, like you're doing really good, keeping myself motivated and kind of taking it outside of like it's crazy that you said that yours has been staying motivated, but for me it's like it's kind of the same thing. It's that mine is more so like I'm motivated, I just need to be satisfied with what I produce under what I can produce it under, or the things that I'm currently working through. And so, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so, it's just been working through that, being positive through that, and being happy and knowing that I do really good work and that every project that I work on is really good work. And then on top of that, just with my transition from being in college and then going back to my mom's house for 8 months and then finding my own place, like I used to really beat myself up about getting to a certain place in a certain amount of time. And I was really hard on like understanding when I need to do something and how I need to do something. Instead of doing it. Mm-hmm. And so I guess that brings it all in. It's just being so hard on myself that I fear doing certain things. Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest thing for me and honestly the most enlightening, it's funny how those things kind of bleed into each other, is just doing it. Right. And developing the confidence, developing the stamina to keep going even when you don't want to. Because you can't have your trauma, you can't have those trigger points, those hot spots get in the way of you ultimately reaching your goals. Right. And the hardest thing with anything is starting, right? And so, because I know God is doing his part and he is just allowing things to just work as they are, and I'm doing my part by being a good person and staying true to myself and to my expectations and staying true to the people around me, I've been able to govern myself and have control over that narrative a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And so just not being so hard on my fucking self, because I'm terrible. I'm a perfectionist I'm a self-confessed perfectionist. And even with that, they say the hardest thing is realizing it. Even with that, it still becomes it's still an issue, right, that I deal with. Mm-hmm. And so it's been working through that, and I think I've been doing a really good job with it, not beating myself up. If something doesn't happen, I'm human. Mm-hmm. I'm one person, and I do good stuff. I do good work.
That's crazy, and it's funny that you bring it up because I just realized that is what keeps me from actually going out for opportunities. Like, me being so hard on myself, I'm hard on myself to the point where I won't do something that I'm perfectly capable of. Like, the fact that was like my first audition for a dance company, and I've been dancing for how long at this point?
All right, period. There's a minor.
Like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. And even with, I had to even sit down.
But even at the same time, it's not, because you're 8 months out of college.
Right.
And, and you were in your bag. Like, you were going after something. You've been doing everything that you need to do. And it's been extremely timely, because it literally has only been 8 months.
Right.
And you auditioned for this company. You've already had your first performance. You got your first trip booked.
Yeah.
Like, you are doing a damn thing.
Yeah.
And so I don't take it lightly. And you know how I am, because I'm like this with you and Key. I will always say it. I am blessed to have friends like y'all, because y'all keep me going. Mm-hmm. It's so inspiring. And I talk about the both of y'all all the time at the office. Like, if something happens, literally the whole suite knows, because I scream for joy or something. I'm extra. And then I'll go and tell some of my confidants throughout the office what happened. But I think it's really important with all of this.
Right.
And I'm speaking to myself. Is that we've only been out of college for me, it's been a year and 3 months. For you, 8 months.
Right.
And we've accomplished so much.
Yeah.
While, to date back to what you were saying earlier, it's people who haven't done shit, who've just been sitting around and letting their degrees hang on the wall and just show evidence that they went to college.
Quick derailment. I do not have my degree yet. I think it's because of the $9.50 that I owe at the library. I think that's why, but
they will hold that degree, baby. They sure will.
They better give me my damn degree.
But guess what? It's a piece of paper. You want me to make you a degree, Sean? I can make you a degree. I am a graphic designer by trade. I can make you a degree.
Jesus Christ. They will come for me. It's all right. I have my transcripts.
Will they? I will hop on InDesign right now.
InDesign me a degree.
And I will create you a degree.
Lord, have mercy.
Sure enough, will.
Jesus Christ.
That's brilliant. I should actually probably do that, because I got a little sauce on my high school diploma. I should probably do that. Yeah, okay. Do that. Anyway.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, that's real.
Yeah.
I think we're too hard on ourselves, especially people like us, who have just always had to come adversity and just always make a way out of no way. Like, yes. I think we're way too hard on ourselves. And I mean, for me, it's a fear of failure and a fear of ending up in situations that my mom didn't want me to end up in, and what she sacrificed so much. And the people who said
you can't do it being right.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I'm so hard on myself. Like, because people tell me every day, they're like, why? You're doing too much. Like, you're doing too much. You're always everywhere.
At the same time, it has a purpose, And I think I don't think I'm backtracking a little bit, but I don't think it's terrible to be hard on yourself, as long as you don't let it take or manifest into something negative, because that can be counterproductive. Mm-hmm. I think being hard on yourself can be interpreted as far as being hard on yourself is probably the wrong thing. Like, I'm a Taurus. They say we're selfish. I don't think I'm selfish. I think I'm passionate. And I think selfishness and passion can bleed into each other, because it's like people who are selfish are passionate about themselves. They're passionate about whatever they're trying to get across. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's negative. It's become this negative energy. Mm-hmm. And so, like, being hard on yourself, and I think that's why what we were saying kind of overlap, because being hard on yourself and motivation, self-motivation, bleed into each other. Go hand in hand, yeah. And so when you're thinking through these things, when we're thinking through these things and we're being hard on ourselves, we need to make that being hard on ourselves into self-motivation, into doing something else. Mm-hmm. Into meeting ourselves and to accomplishing those goals, and to completely changing the energy from something negative to something positive. Mm-hmm. And from something that is deconstructive or counterproductive into something that's constructive and productive. Right. So it's a growing thing, but I think for you and I to only be 23 years old and for us to be trying to figure out all these different things and put these things in place, everybody has their own timeline.
Right.
We could be 23 or 43.
Right.
And just trying to plant our feet into something and see it grow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. What is your wrap up for the good people? What is
up?
What is your your conclusive altogether?
My conclusive statement.
Bow tie on top. Okay. Not bow tie. Gift bow. Bow.
Give bow.
Wrap.
Bow give.
Wrap up.
Bow on top.
Condom.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
RA program. Safe sex or no sex.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. No. What is your big takeaway? What can people take into this week? Take into the rest of this year? Because 2019 has been trash.
Oh,
but
y'all. Okay, so my biggest thing, talking about trash. Vote in 2020. I'm tired of
every episode
y'all niggas
every episode
complaining about Trump's raggedy ass, orange looking face ass, Cheeto dust looking ass, doing something that you don't agree with, but your black, Latino, marginalized ass didn't go vote
LOL.
For Stacey Abrams. So I'm gonna need y'all to
get your black ass up.
Just get it together.
Get your black ass up.
Get it together. Stop making excuses. Stop being counterproductive in your thoughts, in your actions, and to do things that are going to build toward your success.
Ooh.
So whether it be your black ass getting up and voting, your gay ass getting up and getting involved in the community, your woman ass actually understanding what it is to be a feminist and not just sitting on your ass expecting for other people to do things for you, for you to stand firm in who you are and to know yourself, so that you can be the change and be about the change. Because I'm tired of it. Y'all need to be looking at who is currently in a running for president, and you need to find something that you believe in. I'm not going to tell you which way to believe, but just be smart, be informed, and apply that shit to any and everything you do, bitch.
Right.
Period. Because 2020 is coming, and I need this motherfucker out. I think 98% of the population of the United States can agree, but that 2% that doesn't are probably the ones that's controlling every single thing that we do.
Yeah.
Everything we eat, everything we consume via the media, even the pots we piss in when we go to the damn store. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So take that, eat it, boil it.
Jesus.
Digest it somehow, some way.
That was a real aggressive ending.
I mean, bitch.
Passionate.
I'm okay though. Passionate, aggressive, and okay.
No, that's
How about
good.
you, bud?
I think I just want people to fall in love with themselves through the process. Fall in love.
Love where you are.
Love where you are. Because those moments where
that shit hard.
It's fucking hard as fuck. Because you're sitting here trying to be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
To push yourself, but literally love where you are in the process. Literally, I have reached a point with my music and my writing where I'm just happy with what I produce, and I don't care how long it takes. I don't care if I have it written in 3 weeks. I don't care if I have it written in 3 months. Like literally, whenever I work on music, I am good. I don't care. And I'm trying to get to that point when it comes to my professional career and my dancing. Like, I need to love where I am.
That's huge.
So I think people just need to love where they are in their journey, and that it's going to take time.
Love yourself.
Respect yourself.
Respect yourself. Bitches and niggas of the world. Do better.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, well, that goes about wrapping up another episode of Black, Gay, and Okay with Carlton Taylor.
Sean Brinkley.
And all the things. You can follow us on social media. Go into our Instagram at BGO_pod, and you can find all of our shit on our link tree.
Yes.
We stream on so many different platforms. And so find us, listen, comment, Don't get crazy. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We're probably going to have an episode.
Y'all already know where I stand. I'm not going to say it again.
Don't get crazy. Don't get crazy.
I knocked over some Snickers and a Black & Miles and a Chevron the other day. Fuck with me if you want to.
Sean, I'm telling you. As you said, you almost got into it with the cashier, right?
I did.
Okay, so what happened? Unpack that for the people real quick.
Oh, Jesus.
Follow us on social media. You can follow. You can join the conversation, y'all.
Please.
Join the conversation. Send us DMs, all that great stuff. Send us questions. We're probably gonna have an episode catered toward questions that y'all saying. So do it,
please.
But please walk us through this.
Okay, real quick, y'all. Real quick,
on the floor.
Real quick, because
real quick.
There was a I gotta give you context because there was a man being real raggedy, yelling real loud in the store, all that other shit, and of course any employee at an establishment where somebody's yelling loudly, they're gonna have an attitude. I feel that, but you need to get it together by the time you get to the next person because I didn't do it.
Or you can de-escalate the issue.
Yeah, please. I was like. Because he had a whole attitude with me when I got up to the register. And I was like, okay, cool. He started talking to me crazy. And I was like, okay.
What did he say?
No, it's how he was saying it. Like, his attitude was...
His tone.
Piss poor.
Yeah.
And when I finally got I didn't get my receipt. He threw the receipt at me. And so I just knocked all the shit off the counter.
Don't throw shit at me, because I'm going to throw it back.
I almost knocked the C off that Chevron. So, all in all, don't get disrespectful because... Just don't get disrespectful. You don't have to believe me.
Bitch.
Jesus
so
Christ.
he was irritated with another customer and
took it out on me. Yes.
And threw your fucking receipt.
Threw my receipt.
So did he was it like a he was pitching a ball or so he balled it up?
No.
Or
it was
it just went through the like it just floated in the air like a dollar bill does when you throw it at a stripper. Interesting.
So in that instance I am not okay.
Was anybody behind you? Did anybody see this?
No. Just God and Jesus.
I would have checked him, Sean. I would have been like, sir, we're going to try that again. Because when I call your corporate office and let them know that you abused me, I got a paper cut on my eye.
I could not find a number for the life of me.
You know what? They probably got hit in because Chevron's slick. There's some nice Chevrons, but it's some Chevrons that just be like, what the fuck?
I could not.
Did y'all just dig a hole in the ground and put
number.
Some gas pumps?
Because sometimes they're running the gas. They don't actually own the store.
Right.
So like it's actual Chevrons that are like probably corporate Chevrons.
Franchised.
And then there's some that are like where we just buy the gas, but we own our own entities within the store.
Yes. I would have let him out. I let him know by himself. I'm like, sir, you work at a gas station. Secondly, I'm not the one you're mad at, sir. I paid for my shit. I'm not being belligerent in the middle of your store. You are not misallocating. What's the word? Misusing. Misplacing your anger on me. You piece of shit. Now hand me my receipt like I'm a person. Or I'm fucking up that whole row of Rellos behind you. And I'm kicking the M&Ms down as I walk out. Fuck you, bitch. I can't stand people who rude. Don't be rude in customer service. I provide exceptional customer service. And you know why? Because I believe in treating people how you want to be treated. Now, if you wasn't the person that you are, Shawnee, you was belligerent, you know what? I'd be like, well, bitch, it's karma. You feel me? But you're not. You too give exceptional customer service. And so that's just out of place, and he's going to get his.
I'm tired.
Throwing pieces of paper in people's face. I'm a person. I am a fucking person. You're going to treat me like it. Hand me my shit.
Jesus Christ.
And it's funny because I was listening to, and we're going to wrap it up, I promise. Yeah. It's funny because I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about like how cashiers tend to like mirror the energy of their client, or not client, their customer. Mm-hmm. And so, like, if the customer puts the card on the table, they pick the card up and then they put the money on the table or the card on the table, whatever the case is.
Right.
And so it's like that. You reciprocate the type of energy,
yes,
or whatever. So that's crazy. That he was just like not expecting you to do essentially what people in customer service positions tend to do.
Oh Jesus.
But you said fuck that.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, we'll see y'all next week.